There's something brewing in Foxborough. The New England Patriots 2025 draft class might not have had the fireworks that some teams put on during draft weekend, but beneath the surface, this group has real substance. And if you take a closer look, there's one name in particular that could end up being a major steal, not just in the context of this draft, but potentially in the bigger picture of the Patriots rebuild. That name, Jared Wilson, the center out of Georgia. Now, for anyone who follows college football, you already know the significance of wearing the red and black down in Athens. Georgia isn't just another program, they're a powerhouse, a factory for NFL talent, especially along the trenches. So when a guy like Wilson rises through the ranks there, even if it's for just one full starting season, it demands attention. Sure, he wasn't a 4-year anchor or a multi-year All-American, but what he put on tape in that lone season was enough to show glimpses of a player who might just be scratching the surface of what he can become. Jared Wilson was widely viewed as the top center in the 2025 class. Though some would argue this year's group of interior linemen didn't quite have the same top-end depth as in past years. Still, it raised eyebrows when Wilson slid all the way to the 3rd round. But if you look at how NFL teams typically treat the center position in a draft, it actually tracks. Centers rarely go in the top 10. It's often tackles who get the spotlight, then guards and centers come after that. Sometimes teams convert college guards into centers at the next level because they value versatility or because the player projects better in the middle. But in Wilson's case, he is a natural center with tools that teams should love. What sets Wilson apart isn't just where he played or his college pedigree, it's his athletic profile. At 6'3" and 310 pounds, Wilson clocked a 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine in 4.84 seconds. For a guy his size, that's moving. That kind of burst and agility isn't common, especially for interior linemen. It's not just for show either. This level of athleticism shows up on film. Whether it's climbing to the 2nd level on zone runs or recovering after being beaten off the snap, Wilson shows the kind of movement skills that allow him to erase mistakes, recover quickly, and stay engaged in the play. And that's a huge advantage for a young lineman. Let's face it, rookie offensive linemen make mistakes. That's part of the development process. But the ones who can make up for them, who have the footwork and quickness to re-anchor or redirect, those are the guys who don't just survive, they grow. For Wilson, his athleticism gives him that margin of error. He's not perfect, far from it, but he has the tools to improve quickly. Now the elephant in the room is his experience. Wilson started only one season at Georgia and played roughly 110 total snaps that year. He dealt with a foot injury that sidelined him for 2 games, but otherwise he was active throughout the season. Still, that's a relatively small sample size. For some scouts and front offices, that's a red flag. They want guys with multiple years of tape, more reps against elite competition. But others look at a player like Wilson and see something else, a blank canvas, a moldable talent. And that seems to be the view inside the Patriots building. The comparison floating around is the contrast between a guy like Will Campbell, taken in the 1st round to be an immediate starter at left tackle, and Wilson, who's more of a project. Campbell is expected to plug in and go. He's day 1 ready. Wilson, on the other hand, represents potential, high upside, but a player who will need coaching, reps, and time to become what he could be. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what mid-round picks are for, finding players with traits you can't teach, then coaching them up on the things you can. And that's the approach New England is taking. They see the frame, the movement, the physicality in the run game. They also see the weaknesses, pass protection inconsistencies, and struggles against the zero technique. For those unfamiliar, the zero technique is when a defensive lineman lines up directly over the center, often a powerful nose tackle looking to disrupt things right at the snap. Wilson has shown he can be pushed around in those situations, especially against stronger, more technically sound opponents. That's one of the main reasons he didn't go higher in the draft. Teams worry he might get overpowered at the next level. But again, this is where coaching and scheme come into play. If you're going to knock a player for something like that, you also have to acknowledge whether it's fixable. And in Wilson's case, it looks like it is. His anchor can be developed in the weight room, and his hand placement and leverage can be refined through reps and coaching. The athleticism is already there. The movement is already there. The rest is teachable. Another point in his favor, he's not entering a situation where he has to figure everything out alone. The Patriots' interior offensive line has some experienced bodies flanking him. On one side, you've got Mike Onwenu, a rock-solid presence with a lot of starts under his belt. On the other, there's Cole Strange, who's had his ups and downs but is getting back on the field and finding some rhythm. That kind of stability on either side of a young center is invaluable. It means Wilson can grow into his role without the entire weight of the offensive line resting on his shoulders. There's also the depth chart to consider. Right now, the competition at center includes veteran Garrett Bradbury and Ben Brown. Bradbury is the known quantity, the safe option. He's got the experience, the technique, but he's also struggled with pass protection, especially against our blitzes and interior pressure. That was a major issue last season with the Vikings, and it's something that could easily resurface in a new system. Ben Brown, while intriguing, is a long shot to make the roster. The coaching staff clearly sees Wilson as more than just a camp body. And here's the thing. When you draft a center in the third round, you're not just looking to fill out the depth chart. You're expecting that player to develop into a starter. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in week 1, but sooner rather than later. And based on what we're hearing and seeing, there's a very real chance Wilson could step into that role mid-season, especially if Bradbury's performance falters or if Wilson shows enough in camp and early reps to push the coaching staff's hand. It's a wait-and-see situation for sure, but the potential is hard to ignore. Wilson's profile screams long-term starter, possibly even high-end starter, if he develops the way the Patriots believe he can. And in a league where offensive line continuity is so important, hitting on a center, someone who touches the ball, every play and calls protections is massive. This team is in transition. New quarterback, new pieces across the board, and a new sense of identity starting to take shape. Wilson might not be the face of that change, but he could quietly become one of its most important pieces. Development takes time, but the building blocks are in place. The ceiling is high. And in Foxborough, that's exactly what they're betting on. As the 2025 season looms, the New England Patriots find themselves in a unique position. They're in the middle of a rebuilding phase, but it's one that feels different from previous years. There's a sense of optimism around this team, largely driven by the fact that they now have a clearer sense of direction. Bill Belichick and his coaching staff are known for their ability to develop talent, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do with Jared Wilson. The Patriots are no strangers to bringing in players with raw potential and molding them into cornerstones of their system. And with a player like Wilson, they have another opportunity to work their magic. One of the most intriguing aspects of Wilson's potential is his ability to make an impact as soon as he steps onto the field. Sure, he's a raw talent, but that doesn't mean he can't contribute sooner than expected. We've seen the Patriots do this time and time again. Take players who might not be ready to start right out of the gate, but who have the tools to make a difference once they get a feel for the NFL game. It's a process that requires patience, but it's also one that can pay huge dividends in the long run. The fact that the Patriots already have some experienced offensive linemen around him only adds to the excitement surrounding Wilson's development. Having Onwenu and Strange next to him will help ease his transition. Both players bring a certain level of stability and experience that can help Wilson adjust to the speed and physicality of the NFL. There's a lot of pressure that comes with playing center, especially for a rookie, but if Wilson can rely on those two to help him out, it might just be the perfect situation for him to thrive. While the competition for the starting center position will undoubtedly be intense, it's hard to ignore the fact that the Patriots are putting a lot of faith in Wilson's upside. They clearly see something special in him, and they're willing to take the time to develop him into the player they believe he can be. It's not a guarantee that he'll be the starter right away, but the potential for him to take over that role sooner rather than later is very real. And given the situation at center for the Patriots, it wouldn't be surprising to see him move into that spot at some point during the season. Another thing to consider is the Patriots' offensive line as a whole. In past years, the offensive line has been a position of both strength and frustration. The team has seen flashes of dominance from certain players, but consistency has always been an issue. Wilson's addition could be the missing piece that helps stabilize the line for years to come. He's the type of player who can grow into a foundational piece if given the proper development. His athleticism, combined with the Patriots coaching staff's ability to refine technique, makes him a prime candidate to become one of the league's better centers in the near future. It's easy to get caught up in the negatives, especially when it comes to a player like Wilson who has limited experience and some glaring weaknesses. But when you look at the whole picture, it's clear that the positives outweigh the concerns. Yes, he needs to improve his pass protection, and yes, his struggles against zero technique could be a problem. But those are issues that can be addressed with time and coaching. The Patriots have the resources to help Wilson refine his technique and become a more well-rounded player. The tools are already there. He just needs the right guidance to unlock his full potential. The Patriots have a history of finding gems in the later rounds of the draft, and Wilson has all the makings of one of those players. If he can develop into the player the Patriots envision, he could be a staple of their offensive line for years to come. It's all about finding the right balance of patience and urgency. While the Patriots will undoubtedly want to give Wilson the time he needs to develop, they'll also be eager to see him make an impact sooner rather than later. If he's able to do that, the team's offensive line could look very different and a lot better by the middle of the season. Looking at the bigger picture, the 2025 Patriots have the potential to surprise a lot of people. The team might not be considered a Super Bowl contender just yet, but there's a real sense of improvement throughout the roster. They're in a much better position than they were last year, and with the additions they've made, including the draft class, this team has a chance to turn things around quicker than many expect. While the Patriots' ceiling may not be as high as some of the other top teams in the league, their floor has certainly risen. They are a much more competitive team than they were in recent seasons, and that's something to be excited about. The schedule is another factor that plays into the Patriots' potential success in 2025. The strength of schedule, based on analytics, suggests that the Patriots have one of the easier paths to success, with the second easiest schedule in the NFL, behind only the San Francisco 49ers. This is crucial because it means that the team will have plenty of opportunities to win games, even if they are still working through some growing pains. If the Patriots can take advantage of their schedule, they might just be able to exceed expectations and finish with a winning record. The 7.5 win projection for the Patriots in 2025 might seem conservative to some, but with the schedule they have and the improvements they've made, it's entirely possible for them to surpass that mark. There's a lot of potential for growth, and with the right pieces in place, they could make a serious push for a playoff spot. The development of Jared Wilson and other key players will be instrumental in this. If Wilson can step up and play a significant role on the offensive line, that's one less thing the Patriots will have to worry about. They'll be able to focus on other areas of their game, knowing they have a solid foundation in the trenches. As the season progresses, it will be interesting to see how Wilson develops and how quickly he adapts to the NFL. His journey won't be easy, but with the right guidance and the right environment, he could turn into one of the steals of the 2025 draft. The Patriots have always had an eye for finding talent, and with Wilson, they may have found another gem that could help them get back into contention sooner than expected. So as the season approaches, Patriots fans have plenty of reasons to be optimistic. This team might not be ready to compete for a championship just yet, but they're on the right track. The additions to the roster, including Jared Wilson, have the potential to make this team much more competitive in the short term and perhaps even set the stage for sustained success in the years to come. With the right development, the Patriots could be a force to reckon with again, and Wilson could be one of the key pieces in that puzzle. It's an exciting time in Foxborough, and while the road ahead might be a bit bumpy, the future is looking brighter than it has in a long time. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has once again found himself at the center of controversy after announcing what many are calling an excessive and unreasonable punishment handed down to the New England Patriots. In a decision that has shocked fans and analysts alike, the league has imposed harsh sanctions following an alleged violation that some believe does not warrant such severity. The Patriots, a franchise no stranger to scrutiny, have been docked 2 first-round draft picks over the next 2 seasons, fined $10 million, and had head coach Bill Belichick suspended for 4 games. According to the league's statement, the punishment stems from what it described as a repeated breach of league integrity policies, although details remain vague. Sources suggest it involves minor infractions related to filming opponent. Signals an accusation the team vehemently denies. The reaction from around the NFL has been swift and divisive. Patriots owner Robert Kraft released a statement expressing profound disappointment in the league's decision, calling it a dangerous precedent where punishment is prioritized over fairness and context. Belichick, known for his brief and measured responses, said only that he would be preparing the team with or without me. Meanwhile, players and fans have taken to social media in droves. While rival team supporters celebrated what they see as long overdue accountability, many others criticized Goodell for acting unilaterally and inconsistently. Legal experts have pointed out the lack of transparency in the process, fueling speculation that personal bias may have influenced the ruling. This latest clash adds yet another chapter to the complex and often combative relationship between Goodell and the Patriots organization. Whether the team chooses to appeal or accept the sanctions remains to be seen. But what is certain is that the NFL once again finds itself entangled in drama that extends far beyond the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.